Welcome back to the deep dive. Today we are strapping in for something, well, something truly bleak.
Yeah, definitely not your standard sci-fi fare today.
No, we're not exploring some shiny neon city. We're kind of navigating the ruins of one. Our subject is the 2003 anime series, Texhnolyze.
A really significant work. Many people see it as like the final word on Cyberpunk. The death metal funeral, as some have called it.
That's a strong label. And it comes from a powerhouse team, right? The creative minds behind Serial Experiments Lane.
Exactly. Writer Chiaki J. Kanaka, character designer Yoshitoshi Abe, producer Yosuyuki Ueda, that whole nexus.
And that's important context for you listening, because if Lane was about, digital transcendence dissolving into the wire,
Texhnolyze slams brakes on that. Hard.
It's a violent pivot back. It takes those core cyberpunk ideas, augmentation, decay, and just pushes them to the absolute most desolate physical endpoint.
It really argues against transcendence. It's saying, no, you're stuck, your mind, your consciousness. It's chained to the sheer agony of the body.
So our mission today is maybe to unpack the architecture of that agony.
That's a good way to put it. Let's get into it.
Okay, so the structure starts in this underground city, Lux. It's this rotting cage, really, defined by two grim interlocking systems. The first one is Texhnolyzation itself.
Right. And on the surface, Texhnolyzation sounds like standard cyberpunk stuff, replacing limbs with, advanced robotic prosthetics.
But you're saying we need to ditch that image, the cool super soldier upgrade?
Absolutely reject it. This isn't about becoming cooler or stronger. The key difference here is the biological state of the people. Humanity in Lux, they've sort of lost their natural ability to heal properly.
So augmentation isn't a choice for enhancement. It's more like a grim, invasive necessity because their bodies are failing.
Precisely. Look at Ichais, the protagonist. His story kicks off with just horrific dismemberment, loses an arm and a leg violently.
And he doesn't ask for the tech?
No, it's forced on him. By this scientist, Eriko Kaneda, Doc, who basically sees him as, a test subject, nothing more.
And his reaction is visceral.
Totally. He doesn't just accept this new arm. He recoils from it. There's this early scene where he's actually attacking his own new limb, trying to rip it off.
He sees it as foreign, alien.
Exactly. It's this act of self-mutilation against the technology meant to supposedly save him.
Yeah.
That alienation is just fundamental.
And the show emphasizes that visually too, right? With the Texhnolyze vision.
Yeah, it's this distorted, static-filled interface that keeps popping up. It's not empowering. It's like this constant, glitchy reminder of the split, the asynchrony between his mind and this artificial part.
So you're always aware of the machine presence. It's an intrusion.
A perpetual state of internal alienation, yeah.
Okay, so that's the tech side. But this whole process, keeping these augmented bodies going, it depends on something else. Raffia.
Ah, Raffia, right. This is the second pillar of Lux's misery, you could say. It's described as a rare mineral, maybe more like a moss or a flower, mined deep underground.
And it's essential?
Absolutely vital. It suppresses the body's immune response. Without it, the body would just instantly reject these huge prosthetic limbs. Doc herself even calls its mechanism black magic. It sort of defies normal science.
Okay, but the source. This is where it gets really dark, isn't it?
This is where it crosses into the truly grotesque. Raffia is derived directly from the corpses of the city's dead.
Wait, what? From the corpses?
Yes. There's this chilling moment where an elder just flat out explains it. The dead are dropped into this massive chasm where they're reborn as Raffia flowers.
Oh my God. So the city's ability to maintain this broken artificial existence, it literally runs on processing its own dead citizens.
That's it, a self-sustaining economy of decay. Well, it's profoundly disturbing. Lux literally consumes its dead to keep its broken living going.
Yeah. Disgusting is the word.
It really is. And this ties directly into that idea of biopower we talked about before the show. The theory that state power works by controlling bodies' life, death, reproduction.
And here, physical modification. Augmentation.
Exactly. The powerful factions like the Organo or the Class, they don't just control wealth or territory. They control the means of modifying bodies, the very substance Raffia needed for it.
So power literally flows from controlling who gets augmented, who lives, who dies, whose body parts are replaced.
Precisely. Iki's body, after he's mutilated and rebuilt, it becomes this contested territory, marked violently by these political struggles over who gets the Raffia.
Okay, so this grotesque death-based economy means things in Lux are constantly unstable. It fuels conflict between four main factions, right? And you're saying they all represent different flawed ways of dealing with the crisis.
Yeah, flawed and ultimately failing. If you look at them together, they really cover a whole spectrum of failed societal or even transhumanist responses. It's quite comprehensive.
So let's break them down. First, the organo.
Right, the organo. They're the established power, sort of the pragmatic ones, aiming for order through a strict hierarchy. They use Texhnolyzation, sure, but more as a tool of control, maintaining the status quo.
And their leader, Onishi, he seems almost noble in a grim way.
He is complex. Kigo Onishi follows this strict, almost Bushido-like code of duty. He's the tragic traditionalist, you could say.
But his way fails too.
Utterly. He believes his code, his sense of duty, can hold back the chaos. But his conservatism, his honor code, it's just not enough against the nihilism tearing Lux apart. He's a principled man in an unprincipled world, and yeah, he gets consumed by the disorder he tried to stop. It's the failure of duty, really.
Okay. So contrast that with the Salvation Union.
The Union. They're the reactionaries, preaching purity, fiercely anti-Texhnolyzation. Their whole thing is purging the corrupt cyborgs. You hear them chanting, soul, body, truth, salvation.
Sounds almost religious, fanatical.
It is. But here's the kicker, the deep irony.
Here's a catch.
A huge one. The entire movement is built on hypocrisy. Their leader, Motoharu Kimata, he's secretly Texhnolyzed himself.
No way. The anti-cyborg leader is a cyborg.
Yep. The show reveals it later when his own mechanical arm starts visibly decaying. It totally exposes the whole thing.
So it's not philosophy, it's just cynical politics.
Pretty much. A populist front using that purity rhetoric to grab power and, crucially, control over the Raffia supply.
Yep.
So that's the failure of moral certainty, or maybe feigned certainty.
Okay. Then there's the Rakan, more street level.
Yeah, the Rakan are the sort of anarchist youths, a loose gang, rebellious. They actually embrace Texhnolyzation, but for them it's about self-expression, individualism, freedom from Lux's rules.
The punks of the equation.
Exactly. But their approach is just dangerously naive. They have no real strategy, no long-term plan. It's pure individualism, almost self-destructive chaos.
Which makes them easy targets.
Totally. Easily manipulated, especially by outsiders like Yoshi, who comes in and stir things up.
Yeah.
It shows the failure of just directionless, self-indulgent freedom.
All right, and the last one, the class. Sounds ominous.
They are. They're pulling strings from above, led by this really solipsistic guy, Kano. They represent radical accelerationism, meaning they don't want to fix Lux or even rule it in the traditional sense. They see the entire city, its people, as just a resource pool, raw material.
What?
For forced evolution. Kano believes the only way out is to rapidly, violently evolve humanity, or what's left of it. His goal is to create these things called shapes.
And shapes are, I'm almost afraid to ask.
You should be. They're horrific.
Yeah.
Basically, biomechanical soldiers, where the original human is reduced to just a head and a life support sack encased in machinery. It's the total eradication of individuality.
All in the name of salvation.
In the name of transcending the flesh to conquer the stagnant surface world, it's monstrous dehumanization, presented as the ultimate evolutionary step, the failure of, well, radical inhuman progress.
Wow. So duty, purity, freedom, evolution, every single path leads to disaster.
Systematically, yeah.
And this pattern of failure, it feels like the show isn't just telling a story in the cyberpunk genre, but actively tearing it down, right? Engaging with its founders.
Absolutely. You have to post-mortem, a critique. You see the foundation,
Right.
especially William Gibson, right?
Yeah, Lux has that look. The low life and high tech, the crumbling city, the sort of corporate syndicates like Organo and the Class.
All the aesthetic trappings are there.
Yeah.
But Texhnolyze strips away every shred of, well, coolness,
Yeah.
romance.
Rejects the techno fetishism.
Completely. Think about it. In Gibson's Neuromancer, you have characters like Molly Millions. Her cybernetics are sleek, efficient. She's empowered by them.
Effortless, almost.
Right. Now, contrast that with Aikai's. We see these long, agonizing scenes of him just trying to climb stairs or cope with the pain of his new limbs.
The tech isn't empowering him, it's torturing him.
Exactly. It's a constant source of physical agony, psychological trauma. It doesn't make him master his world. It just confirms he's a victim of his own body and the tech forced onto it.
So it starts with Gibson aesthetically, but where does it go philosophically?
Deep into Philip K. Dick territory, profoundly Dickian. That obsession with reality, identity, what it means to be human, the blurring lines between human and machine or android.
That central question, what is human?
And Texhnolyze gives maybe the most horrifying answer with the shapes. A human head in a machine. That's the ultimate grotesque exploration of that human-machine boundary.
And Keno's worldview. Believing Lux is just his own creation.
Classic Dickean solipsism. Is this reality?
Right.
Or just a construct of one powerful, disturbed mind? It tackles those core questions head on.
But the influences go beyond sci-fi writers, don't they? There's that visual shift.
Yes. Surface world. It's fascinating. When Case and Doc finally get above ground, the whole visual style changes dramatically.
How so?
It becomes stark, overwhelmingly bright, sun-drenched, but utterly empty. It looks deliberately like the paintings of Edward Hopper.
Hopper, the American realist painter, known for loneliness.
Exactly. Hopper painted solitude, silence, that kind of spiritual emptiness within modern American life. By using that visual language for the surface world, the show makes a huge point.
The supposed utopia up there.
It's just another kind of wasteland, a spiritual one. They achieved technological perfection, maybe immortality, but it led to this profound existential vacuum. Emptiness.
So it's clean, sterile, silent, but dead in a different way than Lux. Wow.
Visual storytelling at its best, really. A different kind of failure.
Which brings us right to the core philosophy, doesn't it? This pervasive nihilism. It feels like the operating system of the whole series.
I think that's fair to say. Look back at the outcomes. Every significant action, even the noble ones. Onichi's duty, Yoshi trying to wake up the city, Doc's scientific quest. What happens?
It all just accelerates the disaster, leads to more ruin.
Exactly. Futility seems absolute. And the ultimate proof, perhaps, is that surface world.
Yeah.
The theanormals, as the show calls them.
They got what everyone supposedly wants. Safety, long life, technological mastery. They got rid of struggle, didn't they?
They eliminated struggle, desire, maybe even meaning itself. And the result, the source material calls it endless, torturous boredom.
They lost the will to live.
It seems so. A collective loss of will. Spiritual extinction because there was nothing left to strive for. Too safe to even care about existing anymore.
So faced with that kind of cosmic indifference, the show seems to stage an existential struggle. It contrasts those big ideologies, the factions, reasons to live.
With something much more basic, primal, just the raw, irrational will to live.
And that's Ikais.
That's Ikais. He starts as pure instinct, not ideology. He's not trying to change the world or lead a movement. His entire struggle initially is just survive, endure.
A biological imperative.
Exactly. That's what sets him apart from all the thinkers and plotters who ultimately destroy themselves and everyone else. His only real developed purpose becomes this incredibly strong, almost unspoken loyalty to Ran the Sierra Girl.
And we see the failure of intellect, of reason, really starkly with Doc Kaneda, don't we?
Oh, her arc is tragic. She's the technophile, the scientist who truly believed technology, evolution, that was the path to salvation. Her whole life's work was building towards this better future.
But then she sees the result.
She reaches the surface and sees her supposed masterpiece, these perfected humans, and their empty shells. No desire, no will, nothing. It shatters her entire worldview.
The belief that tech could save them was just wrong, catastrophically wrong.
It leaves me with absolutely nothing. Her reason for being is invalidated by her own success, in a way, and that leads directly to her suicide.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, the final argument Texhnolyze seems to make is, well, it's heavy, all the grand plans progress, evolution, salvation, they just crumble.
Yeah, the question isn't how to stop the decay, maybe. It's more about what, if anything, you choose to value personally inside that overwhelming meaninglessness.
Which takes us to that ending. Utterly desolate, Lux is wiped out, everyone, the factions, the shapes, they're just frozen statues in the ruins. Aihez is dying, the last conscious person.
His fight is finally over. But right at the end, on that rooftop, his failing Texhnolyze parts do one last thing.
Not fighting, not escaping.
No, it's a purely personal act. He uses the tech to project this small, crude, holographic image, just a simple flower.
A memento of Ran, his connection to her.
Exactly. And he dies looking at it, with this faint hint of a smile. That flower, it doesn't redeem the world, it doesn't change the outcome, but maybe it validates the life that witnessed it, that held on to that one small connection.
A private meaning, internal, found right at the edge of annihilation.
A tiny flicker of personal beauty against the void.
So the final thought, maybe, for you to chew on.
If the end point of all our striving for technological progress, safety, comfort, long life, if that leads to the kind of spiritual emptiness we saw on the surface, then what kind of struggle is actually necessary for humanity to keep hold of that fundamental will to live?
Is profound suffering somehow the price we did? The thing that makes transient beauty, like that flower, actually matter?
Something to think about, perhaps, as we all navigate our own increasingly augmented world.